response were you hoping to see out of your team following the loss, and have you seen that type of response over the last few days?
Did they care or did they not care? I thought after the game our kids really did care about the loss, and you could see it in the locker room, you could see it in their faces, and you could see it this week in practice. Just things they got to do to make themselves better and make this team better. They've done those things, and hopefully have a good one today to follow. Then walk through tomorrow, and then we play well on Thursday. But you could tell this group of kids really do care, and they've done the things. You could tell guys grabbing each other to go watch film and prepare a little bit more than we did last week. But I thought they prepared very well last week as well. We just had some mistakes that hurt us in that ball game, but just them caring is probably the most important thing.
Is there enough positive out of that game to still, feel that this team can be successful and feel that they overcame those miscues?
Yeah, there's some really good things that happened in that game. We scored a few touchdowns, and we even had the lead at one point when our kids fought through some adversity. There was just that 8-minute period there where things kind of took a turn, but you saw our kids still keep fighting through the entire game. They never gave up. They kept battling every single play. They played more physical than we had in past, than last year, but there's still more physicality that needs to be, brought to the table with our team as well. But I saw a lot of good things. There's also some things that, when you're playing a good football team, you can't have happen, and just a few of those things, too many of those things happen to us. But I'm excited to see them play again this week. I know they're a good group. I know they work hard. I know they care. I know they're going to come play hard every single game, and hopefully all that hard work, pays off this week.
You had some problems with turnovers last week, and looking back to last year, you did really well as far as avoiding lost fumbles. Is there something that you can do to address that, or was that just one of those games where it just happened that way?
We talk about ball security all the time. There's drills we do in practice, so we know we just got to, it's just more about focus and understanding, when contact comes, you need to put two hands on the ball and, protect it a little bit better. And, our kids will learn from those mistakes and get better from it. And, that doesn't define, who those kids are when they do have a turnover. It's just, they're very good football players. It's just a mistake that happened. So, we did do a few things in practice just to emphasize it just a little bit more. And, that's all you can do is really stress it. Just do different drills, trying to get the ball out. And, when you do those things, good things usually happen for us. So we've worked it, and hopefully we're a little bit better, ball security this week.
Overall, how has practice been leading up to this game?
Good, but hot yesterday, and it's going to be even hotter today. But, that's no excuse. Our kids are going to come out there and work, every day, and you can tell they're locked in and focused, and they're going to do everything they can to win this ball game. So their preparation has been great. Their attitudes have been great, and, they just need to continue today and have a great practice today so we can have a great game on Thursday.
I know it's hard to judge on that game because you fell behind and had to pass the ball a lot, but what's the balance of run and pass you'd like to see in a normal game?
You always want it to be 50-50. Wide receivers always want it to be 100-0. Quarterbacks probably want it to be 100-0, pass to run. But, as a coach, I honestly would probably like to be more, 60% run, 40% pass. And that just kind of, tells you what kind of team that you have. And we got a team like that, you're a physical football team, and you're able to get first downs, continuously with just the run game. And that will open up our pass game. That will open up our big plays for us as well. So I'm more of a 60-40 guy. Probably want to be 50-50. But, it also kind of depends on what the game is and what they're giving you. So sometimes you might be 70-30. Sometimes you might be, 70-30 the other way. It just depends on what the defense is giving you, and you got to take what they give you.
Do you still feel this team has the ability to do that and run the ball effectively?
I do. I feel like the guys that we have up front, they're big, they're strong, they're athletic. I feel like we got backs that can do that as well. And seeing the whole, I think we got two backs that are very physical runners and can get downhill. And even the third one, I feel is a tough kid that's going to run hard and give you everything that he got as well. But I do feel like this is a team that can run the ball. We just got to put it all together, communicate a little bit better, and seal our blocks a little bit more, and get movement. The whole key to run the ball is getting movement up front, and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, and getting first downs. And I think this team can do that.
There's physical mistakes and there's mental mistakes. Maybe a drop pass that could have been a touchdown, be a physical mistake. Which is easier for a coach to deal with, physical or the mental? Because everybody makes physical mistakes. Is the mental mistakes more that bothers you?
It is. The mental things are the things that win and lose ball games, and a penalty to me is a mental mistake. You can't have those things, and because those are going to cost you. The turnovers and dropping balls, those are all things that are very fixable, and that just comes through working on it and getting better at it. But the mental stuff of it, I mean, that's more on the player than the coach. They got to be mentally engaged throughout the entire game, so we don't have those mental issues that cost of the game, or not knowing the call or knowing the situation. Those are all the things that kids have to hone into during the game and stay focused on it. So if we can ever get the mental part, the physical part will come.
What concerns you about Missouri Western?
That we've struggled the last 3 years, against them since I've been here, and it's always seemed to be, turnovers. We've had a lot of turnovers against them in those last 3 games, and giving up big plays as well. We got to eliminate our turnovers this week because that's what's hurt us in the last 3 games against them, and we've got to eliminate their big plays. So those are the things that kind of bother me the most. And they got a very good quarterback. That is, he can run and he can throw, and he's very talented. And we've got to find a way to make sure that we keep him under control and under wraps. I mean, he can scramble, and that's where he's probably the most comfortable, is him running around and making plays happen. And they got very good wide receivers that I think are very talented and got some good speed and good hands. And their own line's very good as well. And they have 3 or 4 backs that they use that, they stay pretty fresh, through the entire game. So, and then defensively, probably last week is the most man coverage we've ever seen out of, Mo West playing against UCO. Are they going to do those same things to us, or what kind of adjustments are they going to make in this game to kind of keep us off balance? But, if we do get the man-to-man coverage, we got to win the one-on-one battles. And if we can do that and protect our quarterback and give him time to find, the matchups that he wants and know who's going to win, we'll have a good opportunity to win this ball game. But main thing is just, we got to eliminate those turnovers like we did last year. I think last year we had a pick 6, had a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and then had a big play on offense for a touchdown. That's 21 points right there that if we take off the board, we win that ball game. And the year before that was kind of the same scenario. We had a punt that hit a kid in the stomach and, on 1 point, and they scored a touchdown. So a lot of times we just shot ourselves in the foot, when we played them. So we can't do that this week. We just got to be solid and play our game and do what we're coached to do.
Did their win last week say more about where they're at or where Central Oklahoma is at?
I think Central Oak's a good football team. I think Mo West is pretty good as well. So it's always that first game. You just kind of a bunch of unknowns, and kind of like us playing Northwest last week. There's some things in that game that I thought was really good, and there's some things that Mo West in that game it did against UCO that I thought were really good as well. So it's kind of I don't know where UCO is at right now. I think they're a good football team, but it just shows that Mo West is going to come ready to play. They're going to be physical. They're going to rally to the ball, on defense, and then offensively they're going to make some big plays. And those are the things that we got to do. We got to eliminate those big plays, and we got to, get our run game established on offense, and hopefully open up our pass game.
The challenge is with Reagan Jones being such a good runner and passer. There's a lot of guys who can, dual threat, but he seems to be as good as anybody around. What's the biggest challenge of trying to contain a kid like that?
It's just understanding, your run game fits is probably the number one thing with him running the ball. Who has the dive and who has the quarterback, and then understand the play action that's off of it as well. And then, okay, is it a true straight pass now, and how do we contain him? So, to me, we just got to make sure that we keep him in the pocket, and when he does get out, that we take good angles, and we run through the tackle instead of diving at him. And if we have good angles and we run through him, good things will happen for us, because he does make guys miss, and most times when he makes guys miss, it's because they get squared up with him and don't take a good angle. So just got to make sure that we take the right angles and proper angles and be physical on the tackle.
There are some coaches that subscribe to the theory that the biggest improvements from week 1 to week 2. Do you take any stock in that?
I just want us to get better every single week. That's it. Whether it's week 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, it don't matter. I want our guys to get better every single week, and I think you learn a lot more from game 1 to game 2. And I think that's probably where the biggest change in difference is you've gotten better, but I think it's just the first game jitters, the mental mistakes that were made in game 1. Hopefully they'll make those in game 2, and I think that's where you see the most improvement. I don't think it's the physicality part of it or the physical part of it. I think it's just the mental part of the game that gets better. But a lot of teams say, you do get better in that 1 week, but I think it's over the course of time. If we can improve each week, gradually we'll be a really good football team at the end of the year.